Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in. This is BigBeerFoundation.com. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to dive into my NFL Week 2 analytics predictions. Like I said, in this analytics video about last week, this is where we dive deeper into the games. We're going to take a look at what I expect from each game. We're also going to be taking a look at my final score and my pick against the spread. So that's what the analytics here is all about. So like I said, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys do like and subscribe. We do appreciate y'all support. Make sure you guys go join the Discord as well. That's very much appreciated. And make sure you guys join the NBA Fantasy Basketball League that's starting up right now. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys join that. That's going to be a lot of fun this season. So link to that will be in the description from here and throughout on the rest of the video. So make sure you guys come join that as well. So that's gonna be fun. Alright, so obviously hold up, my thing's not working. Okay, there we go. So there you have it. I'm gonna have my regular picks record and my spread picks record there for you guys every single week. So I went 12-4 on regular picks. You guys already know that because if you guys watched last video, the picks video, my record's gonna be down there in there as well. But you guys don't know my spread picks record. My spread pick record is 9-7. I think I could have done a lot better. So we need to bounce back in that category. I'm trying to break under 100. So we definitely do need to definitely do need to bounce back a little bit from that one, but don't worry, we'll be just fine. So without further ado, like I said, weekly awards. We got the best game, the worst, best, worst, trickiest, 1 point game, ass beating of the week. You guys know the deal. That's just what we do here. We're gonna get into all that awards here momentarily. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into here. And like I said, throughout, I mean, like I said, but this here throughout, we're going to be taking a look at the standings before we actually dive into everything. So that is the NFC standings as it's doing now. The way how we go with standings is we just put the teams where they're at in their position. So this is just where they are. We're not going to do division or everything. This is just where they are. Like I said, top 7 makes the playoffs, and there you have it. So there are the NFC standings. And then take a look at the AFC standings. Kind of the same thing, same deal. Of course, the standings, we'll have it for you, but I don't think the standings really mean too much of anything right now because this is after 1 week. A lot of things can change throughout as the weeks continue, but that's just the standings going into this week, and then that's the AFC. Like I said, nothing really matters this week because obviously it's just after 1 week. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the first game here. We have Thursday Night Football. We have the Bills. We have the Dolphins. I'm expecting this one to be a good game. I'm kind of expecting this one to be more of an offensive showing. Sure, both defenses can show up. Bills coming off both these two teams are coming off. I'm not gonna say both of them. Buffalo's coming off of a shootout. Miami's coming off maybe got away with a frustrating win there that almost came to a frustrating loss in their own building. Should we just go ahead and cue it? Like I know that all Thursday night games are not really good the rewards for this, but we might as well just go ahead and cue this in because I think this one is pretty fair. In chat, if you guys agree with me, this one, I would not blame you. But let's go ahead and cue this. This is the first award of the night. So we got the trickiest game of the week. This game to me was definitely my trickiest game of the week. It took me a long time to really think about this game because starting with the Bills. Josh Allen, the Bills always beats Miami, okay? That's just what we're used to seeing, right? Especially in Miami. I remember when these two teams faced off in Week 18 of last season. I think it was a battle of whoever wins this game is going to win the AFC East, and it was Buffalo. Buffalo stood out. Now, Buffalo does not have their star guys like Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis. We talk about those two. Those two are not going to be healthy. They're not going to be at this game. Meanwhile, looking for Miami, I'm expecting their offense to pick up a lot. I think we're going to see a lot from A-Chain because I do think he's playing because Monster is out. And Miami's injuries, that's another thing I'm kind of worried about going into this game. Is Miami going to be healthy going into this game? If they're not healthy, if A-Chain's out, if Monster's already out, so if A-Chain's out, I can definitely see Buffalo taking advantage of Miami's injuries. But I'm assuming that A-Chain's going to play. I don't think Monster's going to play. Bills, James Cook did look good for the Bills. I'm kind of expecting him to have another good game here in Thursday Night Football in Miami. I picked for the game. I'm taking Miami with the spread here with -1.5. That's just slightly too small, and I did have the Dolphins winning this game 28-24. This game could go either way. I think it just depends how healthy Miami is. Like if Miami's healthy, like completely healthy besides Monster, I think they'll walk away with a win. But the Bills do scare me in this game, so that's why I kind of had to think about this one a little bit because, like I said, Josh Allen kind of owned the Bills, and if Josh Allen performs the way that he did last week, he can definitely beat the Bills. Like in order to beat this high-powered Dolphins team, you have to perform better or close to what you did last week, or possibly even better if that's possible. So this game, I am trusting Miami to get this one done. I do think they finally beat Buffalo. They take on 28-24, but this one could go either way, and I wouldn't be shocked about the outcome. But this was definitely my trickiest game. I definitely had to think a lot about this game before I really had to, really kick into gear and everything. So there you have it. Dolphins win 28-24. I'm taking Miami with the spread because that's just too low. So there you go. Next up here, we got the Raiders at the Ravens. Both of these two teams looking for bounce back performances. Raiders coming off of a not so good performance against the Chargers. Really disappointed me there. Ravens coming off of a emotional loss against the Kansas City Chiefs. Like I said, both these two teams coming off comebacks. This game is in Baltimore. I kind of feel bad here with Vegas. Actually, you might as well. Well, do we have another award coming out? Oh my God, yes we do. We have another award coming out. Hopefully that. I think this one's pretty obvious, right? I mean, we talk about it. Talking about it over and over again. I think this one's pretty obvious, so we might as well just go ahead and cue this one because this one is just pretty easy. We got the ass beating of the week already. This is this week's ass beating of the week. I don't think this game is going to be really close at all. Baltimore is going to be pissed off for multiple reasons. One, they lost to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship rematch game. They're here at home playing against this Raiders team that did not look good at all last week. The Ravens should be just fine. Now for Vegas, I am kind of expecting Gardner Minshew to target Davante Adams a lot in this game. I'm expecting Davante Adams to have a kind of a decent game, as well as Jacoby Myers and White and running back. I'm kind of expecting them guys to have a decent night, but it's just not going to be enough to take down Baltimore. Now for Baltimore, I'm kind of expecting a good game for Isaiah Likely again. Lamar Jackson, he should be able to run all over the field. Say Flowers should be able to contribute well. I'm expecting more Andrews to get a little bit going here in this one as well. But I don't think this one matters. Like I said, this is my ass beating of the week here. I am taking my final score. I'm taking the Ravens to win this one, 38-14. Kind of a massacre blowout here. I don't really see this team. I don't really see this game being all that close at all. So give me the Ravens 38-14, and I am taking them with this big spread of -9.5, but a -9.5. But is that risky? Is that risky to take Baltimore -9.5? Like I don't like me. It could be, but I just don't think it is because I think the Ravens are just gonna get the flat out asses kicked here because overall the Ravens are just a clearly better team than the Raiders. But I don't know. This one can go either way, but with this red pick, but I'm trusting Baltimore to get that 9.5 done. I'm expecting them could be big, but I'm kind of expecting this game to be a blowout in Baltimore's favor because the Baltimore Ravens, they're going to be pissed. All that I'm expecting all their players to get active in this one. Defense should perform well for defense should have a day for the Ravens. So yeah, so there you have it. 38-14, covering the 9.5. This game is your ass kicking of the week. Alright, next up we have, like I said, our snooze fester from yesterday. We got the Chargers, we got the Panthers. Chargers coming off that messy win against the Raiders. Panthers coming off at that pathetic performance against the Saints on the road. Now I know this is in Carolina, and if I'm being honest, I hope Carolina wins. Like, if I'm being honest, I hope they win. I hope I'm wrong about this pick, but I just don't think that's a chance, right? I mean, after watching Carolina last week, actually, dude, we're gonna give out our third award already. I mean, this is just insane, but let's just go ahead and cue it, because I think this one's just pretty obvious how this good. I mean, there was one more contender for this award, but yeah, but by far this is what this is, and you guys will definitely agree with me on this one. We got the worst game of the week here, Chargers, Panthers. This is my worst game of the week award. I think a lot of you guys can agree with one. Like I said, there was one more contender out there, but I decided to go with this one because who in the hell wants to watch this game? I am not expecting shit from either one of these two teams. I'm not expecting anything from Justin Herbert in offense. I'm not expecting anything from Carolina's offense. Both defenses, but who do I trust more? I gotta go with the Chargers here, right? Gotta go with the Chargers. I just trust them more. They had the better performance, even though I don't think the Chargers are going to be really that good this year necessarily. I think they at least look enough to let me get them the edge over the Panthers. And I really wanted the Panthers to win this. Like I said, I really want the Panthers to win this. I hope they do. I'm going to be rooting for the Panthers going into this game, but I just have no reason to pick them here. I have no reason to pick them. I'm going with the Chargers here. I'm trusting my gut. Chargers should be able to walk away here with the win, but this one could go either way. Yeah, it really could go either way, because this is the snooze fest of the week. I mean, however, we're going to see from Bryce Young and all of him and Adams. Can Adam Thielen get going for the Panthers? Chargers, can Justin Herbert sling the football like we all know and love he to do? So, like I said, kind of a snooze fester here, but I gotta take the Chargers here. I gotta take Chargers 21-13. I gotta have them taking this -6.5 too. That's just that. I'm sorry, Panthers, but I just can't. I can't trust you after the last performance. So there you go. All right, up next we got the New Orleans Saints at the Dallas Cowboys. Saints are coming off of a dominant. Actually, both of these two teams coming off dominating ass whoopings. Saints coming off an ass whooping against the Panthers. Dallas coming off their own ass whooping against the on the road against Cleveland. That was pretty impressive there. But I do think this game will be close for a half. I'm not predicting this. I am predicting this to be more like a blowout game, because you guys know how Dallas is at home. They dominate people at home. If you're the away team, this is really a tough environment to win. So you could think about it that way, or you could think about this game like maybe the Saints competing in this game. Maybe the Saints actually giving a fight, but they just barely fall short. But some of my people on my YouTube video, on my pick'em challenge, actually picked the Saints, and I'm actually not mad for that. And I hope you guys are right in this one. But come on, like Saints, this is just a completely different situation for you. Derek Carr is not going to do as good as he did last game. Alvin Kamara is not going to get the running game process like he did last game. I'm not expecting the Saints offense to get away with the easy offense like they did last week. Like, this is just a completely tough environment. You're on the road playing Dallas. Dallas, well of knowing being one of the better home teams here in the league in the regular season. I do want the Saints to win, but this is just a little bit of a hard task for the New Orleans here. Like I said, I'm kind of aiming towards a blowout here. I got 31-17 here, Dallas. I just think they really take advantage of New Orleans turnover. Plus, Dallas's defense was a menace last week. I know New Orleans' defense was good, but like I said, this is a completely different environment. I don't think the Saints are really going to perform well in this one. Meanwhile, for Dallas, I'm expecting them to do exactly what they did last week. Dak Prescott having a game. CD, I'm expecting him to get a little bit more going in this game. I'm expecting Dallas as well. I'm expecting him to get a little bit going on the tight end game as well. Ezekiel Elliott, I think he looked pretty decent in his return. I'm kind of expecting him to have a big game here as well. So for that reason, I will take Dallas to win this one 31-17, and I will have him covering this 6.5. I hope I'm wrong in this. I hope the Saints win, but like I said, this is just a completely different environment. You're going all on the road, playing against one of the better home teams that we possibly know, the Dallas Cowboys. So there you have it. For that reason, we have to go with Dallas to win this game, but hopefully that I am wrong, and hopefully New Orleans can prove me wrong with their offense the way they did last week. If they perform the way they did last week, they have a good chance of winning this. But I just don't think it's going to happen. So we're going to take Dallas for this one. All right, next up we got Tampa Bay, we got Detroit. This game is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a popcorn showing game. If you're asking me, both these two teams coming off fun performances. Well, I can say that about the Bucks, but I'm not really gonna say that about the Lions because the Lions they had a good performance themselves, but we all know the Lions can perform way better than what they did last week. We all know that, but that's just the thing with teams, right? You don't come off with week one, you don't have the best performance week one, you come back strong in week two. That's kind of what I'm expecting from the Lions here. Like, not the best week one performance, but week two I definitely know you're gonna kill it, and that's just what I'm expecting here from the Lions. Actually, speaking of popcorn showing, we might as well just lock it in. We're already giving up our fourth award of the day, which is absolutely insane if you're asking me. But let's just go ahead and cue this in because this one is actually pretty obvious. We got the best game of the week. This is the official. This is my game of the week. We got Tampa Bay. We got Detroit. Both of these two teams are going to light it up on the scoreboard. I already know that. I'm expecting offenses, especially for Tampa Bay. I'm expecting Baker to continue his good play. I'm expecting Chris Godwin to have a really good night here for Tampa Bay. I'm also expecting Mike Evans to also have a really good game in here as well. And I'm kind of expecting Tampa Bay's offense to move a little bit. And their defense is going to get tested in this game because they're playing Detroit. Detroit is a higher powered offensive team. Meanwhile, for Detroit, I'm kind of expecting a more offensive game from them as well. I'm expecting Jared Goff to perform a little bit better. I'm expecting David Montgomery to get a little bit going, and I am expecting Amara St. Brown. We have to expect him. We have to know that he's going to have a good night in this one, right? Because Tampa Bay's defense, I know I talk about Tampa Bay's defense all the time, and I know how I say they're always underrated, and they are. They're underrated. The question is, can they carry over to this game against Detroit, who I'm expecting for them to play better offense than what we saw last week? Also, for Tampa Bay, their defense is going to get tested. Actually, did I just got done saying that? I don't know. But if I did, Tampa Bay's defense is really going to get tested in this one. You're playing, so we'll see what happens. I am really motivated. Both teams have a lot of star power they can throw at each other. But in this game, I am taking Tampa Bay with the points though. I think 7 is just way too much there. I like Tampa Bay with the points, but I am going to take Detroit to win this one 27-24. I can see this being more scoring and kind of more of a good defensive battle, or you can see this one being more high scoring, where it's going to be a lot of offensive plays, where both these two teams just sling the football all over the place. And if you're asking me one of the two options, I think the second option is more believable. Both teams throwing the ball a little bit, both teams getting a little bit more effective on the offensive end. But Tampa Bay Lions, I'm just going to ask you guys to really feast us this week, really give us a good game, really give us a good game for all the viewers to watch in Detroit and Tampa Bay at home. Just give us a popcorn show and watch, because that's what I'm kind of expecting from you two. From you two to both go at each other, throw a boxing match, throw punches at each other. Go ahead and do it, because this game is absolutely going to be phenomenal. But at the end of the day, I do think the Lions' home field advantage will help out them more. I'll take them 27-24. But like I said, I am taking Tampa Bay with the points, because 7 points is just too much. Tampa Bay is going to keep them closer than that. Alright, moving on to our next game here. We got the Colts at the Packers. Colts are coming out of that emotional loss at home against Houston again. I know the Colts are going to be mad about that. Green Bay is coming off of a shootout loss to the Eagles in Brazil. Now the Packers get to come here at home, but one thing the Packers that they do not have in this game is Jordan Love. They do not have him in this game. If you guys haven't heard, he got injured like 5 seconds or 10 seconds left to go in this game, which is completely heartbreaking, because that completely made my switch about this pick. If Jordan Love was playing in this game, I would have went with the Packers, because I know what we saw their offense. Jaden Reed, he looked good last week. Romeo Doubs, I think he's gonna have a good night as well. Even though I am picking them to lose, but I think he's gonna have a good night. I think a lot of players on the Packers are really gonna have good nights. I think they're all gonna be effective on the offensive game. Meanwhile, for Colts, I'm expecting Anthony Richardson to have a really good night as well, especially running the football. I think that's gonna be his prime, especially at passing the football, because the Packers pass defense was not really that good that previous week. I'm expecting Jonathan Taylor to have a better night than what he did last week. Michael Pittman Jr., I'm expecting him to get a little bit going offensively. I didn't think he was really committed last week. I'm expecting him to get on his horse and training a little bit. Both of these two teams are looking for bounce backs, but like I said, if Jordan Love was playing in this one, I probably am leaning towards the Packers here, but I'm going with the Colts just simply because I saw their offense last week and I was impressed. And then with the Packers losing Jordan Love and whoever is starting at quarterback for him, I can't think of his name right now, but I will eventually when we see it on the field. But I just don't have confidence. Oh, Malik. Oh, yeah, that's his name. I forgot his last name. But Malik, he's going to be a quarterback for the Packers. That's not trusting me a lot, especially when we don't know too much about him and the way how the Colts offense just racked up points last week. So I'll take the Colts here, 23-18. I know, kind of an odd score, kind of being like a mediocre game, like kind of expecting both offenses to show, but kind of both defenses to show at times. And I am taking Indy minus 3.5, just like I said, because Jordan Love is not playing, and I do really think that's going to cost the Packers here in the foot. But if the Packers do win this game, wouldn't be shocked that this is the home opener for them. I'm expecting them to play well. Even with Malik at quarterback, but besides that, I gotta go with the offense that I know better, the offense that I know what I'm getting from, and that's the Indianapolis Colts, and that's why I got them winning this game. But this should be a fun one. Alright, next up we got the Browns, we got the Jags in Jacksonville. Now there's two ways that you can look at this. You can look at it as a defensive game, or you can look at this as an offensive game. Well, here's the thing, right? Cleveland coming off of a disastrous performance at home against the Cowboys. That wasn't pretty. The Jags are coming off of a game that they probably should have won at Miami. If we're being completely honest, they probably should have won that game. If you guys give me one of the two options, I'm kind of expecting this more to be a defensive game because both of these two defenses are still good. Cleveland, even though they got whooped last week, it's Dallas. So that is Dallas. That's what you expect them to do. I'm expecting Cleveland's defense to be a little bit better in this game. I don't really have a lot of confidence in their offense, and we'll get to that in just a minute. Meanwhile, for Jacksonville, I'm kind of expecting you guys just to play as you did last week. I thought Trevor looked good last week. I think he's going to continue his good play. Travis Etienne, he could be up for a bad day today because, the Browns defense is going to be furious. But at the end of the day, I do think he piles through and have a good night. Jacksonville does miss Calvin Ridley on that team. You could definitely tell from last week. They definitely miss him, but they also have some good players on there. I was very impressed with, like I said, I don't know if I said this, but I was very impressed with Jacksonville's defense last week. I thought they really contained Miami well, only holding them to 20 points, which is pretty motivational if you're asking me who I actually decided to go with this game. So in this one, I did have the Jaguars winning 24-20. Kind of expecting this one to be close. I think everybody expecting this one to be close. Should be a good game here, but at the end of the day, I am leaning towards Jacksonville just simply because I love what their defense did last week, and their defense really convinces me that they're really going to do well against the Cleveland Browns. And the only reason why I'm not picking the Browns is because I don't trust their offense, especially what we saw last week. Deshaun Watson looked horrible last week. Let's be completely honest, he looked horrible. I just don't trust their offense, and especially you facing against the defensive performance that we just saw Jacksonville just do last week against Miami in a definitely winnable game for Jacksonville. Yeah, so yep, there you go. So just for that reason, I am leaning towards Jacksonville, but I am expecting the Browns to play a more cleaner game than they did last week. But Jacksonville's defense really motivated me on this one, so gotta go with the Jags here. Plus, their offense didn't look too bad either, so gotta go with the Jags on that one. Alright, next up we got the Niners and the Vikings, and I hope I'm wrong here, but I have the 49ers winning this one, unfortunately. The Niners coming off of what are the Niners coming off of? They're coming off an ass whooping win at home against the Jets. Vikings coming off ass whooping as well. They beat the Giants on the road. Now you guys know that this is in the bank. You guys know what happened last year with both of these two teams faced off. The Minnesota won by, I think Minnesota won by like 7 or 6 points like that in a shocking upset. Can it happen again? It very much could. It could. This game is played in the bank. This is one of the hardest players. This is one of the hardest fields to play on, especially when you're the visiting team. the Vikings fans are always up in your ass at the bank. This is not going to be easy for the Niners. This was potential for best game of the week, but it just didn't win it. But this one it was close. Because I'm expecting this one to be a good game. I'm expecting this one to be a battle. Obviously, unfortunately, I did have the 49ers winning this one 28-23 because I think they will get away with this time. I refuse that the Vikings are going to win this game, but I will predict the Vikings. I am expecting the Vikings to take the spread pick here of +6, just because it's the bank effect. You know what I mean. It's the bank effect. Minnesota's offense looked really good last week, but like I said, Minnesota's offense is really going to be tested with San Francisco's defense. Can Justin Jefferson can he continue his good play? Could Jordan Addison, could he have a good night? Is Sam Darnold? Is he going to have the same? Is he going to have the same game that he did last week against his 49ers pass rush with Nick Bosa going at him? So with the Niners, I mean, it's just plain and simple. I'm kind of expecting them to do the same things they did last week. I'm kind of expecting Brock Purdy to do what he did, Debo to be more effective. Well, not to be more effective because he had a good game. I was expecting Brandon Ayuk to be more effective, though. He only had 2 receptions last game, so I'm kind of expecting that to rack up here a little bit. George Kittle should do what he did last week. Defense, I'm expecting for the Niners to pick up here a little bit. But that's my only worry for Minnesota, and that's why I'm not picking them, is because even though the Vikings felt good off of their offensive performance because they just played the Giants, what are they going to do against San Francisco? Are we going to see the offense that we saw last week, or are we going to see a complete meltdown that San Francisco absolutely kicks the shit out of the Vikings offense? My answer is 1. I think the Vikings will fight. I think they will compete. The bank will help them out on that. But last year, San Francisco knows the situation. They lost in this situation last year. Rematch here. Gotta go with the Niners. But I hope the Vikings win. Vikings, if you can win. If you can beat their ass, please. But I just don't think it's gonna happen. So Minnesota +6. I think it's a fair spread point there. I think that's a little bit too much, especially in the bank. This one's not going to be easy, but I will take the Niners in this one, 28-23, and should be a very high competitive game here. But at the end of the day, I'm going with the Niners. Alright, next up here we got the Seahawks at the Patriots. Seahawks coming off of a kind of a weird game against the Broncos, let's be honest here. And the Patriots coming off a shocking upset road win at Cincinnati. That was really impressive. Now, take a look at both of the two teams. Okay, we're going to talk about the Patriots first. The Patriots, they could perform as good as they did last week. I'm not expecting it, but we could see it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not expecting the Patriots to perform well as they did, but it could be. Maybe. Meanwhile, looking at Seattle, I'm kind of expecting them to do the same things as last week. Their defense looked alright, offense looked alright. Now, I do think Seattle will have more opportunities for them to more drive down the field and score, which is kind of I'm predicting here. I'm taking Seattle win this game, 19-13, kind of a low-scoring game here. Patriots defense actually looked pretty underrated last week, if I'm being completely honest. But like I said, I'm not the Cinderella story because it's just 1 week, but I kind of like what I saw from the Seahawks defense last week. I meant from the Patriots defense. I like what I saw. Only hold Cincinnati to 10 points. That's pretty impressive on the road. I do think they'll have another good defensive game in this one, but I'm not expecting for them to hang around with Seattle for at the end, because even though I am expecting this game to be closer than what it is, I think Seattle has more firepower than the Patriots. But this one, I think the Patriots could win this one, if I'm being honest. The Patriots do have a good shot, and I hope they do win this one. But at the end of the day, I gotta go with the Seahawks here. I gotta go with the Birds. They should be able to win this one. Geno Smith might have an effective game in this one. DK Metcalf, I know he's gonna have a big game in this one against the Patriots, and the Seahawks will show the Bengals how to get it done. I'm not the old Cinderella story, but the Patriots do win this game. I maybe have to start paying more attention about them. But for right now, we're going with Seattle. I'm taking the safe line. I'm not being risky here. I'll take Seattle in this one. But this one should be fun. I'm expecting the Patriots defense to play well though. Alright, next we got the Jets at the Titans. Jets coming off that ass whooping at San Francisco. Titans coming off of a choking job loss to the Bears. I'm kind of scared about this one because Titans can definitely bounce back in this one. They could. I wouldn't be shocked if they did. I would be shocked if they didn't. But This game, like I said, I'm kind of expecting the Titans to bounce back. They should be able to bounce back in this one. But here's the thing for the Jets. The Jets, I'm expecting them for their defense to absolutely lock in this game. Realizing that they got their ass beat against the Niners last week, I'm expecting the Jets defense to throw whatever the hell they have at Tennessee's offense. And if I'm being honest, I want to know that what I want to see in this game, I want to see what Tennessee does against his Jets defense. I want to see if I want to see if DeAndre Hopkins, I want to see if he gets going. I want to see how Will Levis plays against the Jets defense. I want to see all that. I want to see how the entire offense shapes up against that pissed off defense over there in the Jets. Now, I did have the Jets winning this game 20-14, kind of a low scoring game because, like I said, I am expecting the Jets defense to play well in this game. I'm expecting them to throw whatever they have at Tennessee, and let's see what Tennessee does the result. Do they struggle or do they get down the field and score? I do think they will. My answer is 1. I do think they will struggle a little bit. Jets, like I said, they're still one of the better defensive teams in the league. Even though Titans offense might show up in this game, especially being at home, I don't think it's going to be enough to overtake the New York Jets here. So I'll take the Jets -4, and I'll take them with the win, 20-14. Like I said, kind of a lower scoring game here, but at the end of the day, I'm going with the Jets. I think their defense is really going to have a big impact. I think Aaron Rodgers, I suppose, if we're not talking about the defense, I'm thinking about Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to have a more efficient night. I'm expecting more from Breece Hall. I'm expecting more out of their starting unit as their offense, especially their offense in general. I'm kind of expecting a little bit more here from the Jets, but their defense is really going to be the one that's showing up in this game, and that's why I got the Jets winning 20-14, is because I'm expecting the Jets to beat the shell out of the Tennessee offense. But it could go either way. Both teams coming off bounce backs. This game's in Tennessee. It could go either way, but I'm leaning towards the Jets with the points and with the spread. Alright, after that we have the Giants at Washington. I think this one will be really quickly because both of these two teams, this was worst game of the week potential, if I'm being honest. It wasn't there, but it was close. Giants coming off that embarrassment at home against the Vikings. Commanders coming off of a competing loss. And I'm going to say competing loss against the Buccaneers because they actually did compete. They threw up points. They were battling, but they just came up short. And Tampa Bay was just too much for them. Meanwhile, going into this matchup, I mean, what are you expecting here from the Giants? After watching that performance, what are you expecting? I want to hear you guys. What the hell are you expecting the Giants to do after watching last week's performance? Now, I want you guys to specifically tell me that. And meanwhile, for Washington, they did compete. They did play well. I mean, come on, guys. Let's just face it. I mean, like I said, Washington wins 20-10, right? Not expecting a lot of offense here. I'm expecting Daniels to run that ball all over the Giants' defense. Now, the Giants, like I say, they do have an underrated defense. I think they do hold the Commanders within 20 here. But come on, Daniel Jones, their offense. See, that was Singletary. Their offense is just pathetic. Their offense is pathetic, and that's just what we're gonna watch here. If they can only throw up 6 points against the Vikings, they're not going to do too much better than the Commanders. They're not going to beat the Commanders on the road, right? Like, come on, let's just be obvious here. Let's just be obvious, right? Come on, think about the game. Think about the mental situation. It's just not going to happen. Commanders, you should be able to walk out away with this game victorious 20-10, and I'm definitely taking Washington -2 because that is way too low of a spread pick. But gotta go with the Commanders this one. They should be able to win this one. They should be able to take care of business. Next up, Rams at Arizona. This one is pretty interesting. With this game being in Arizona, as a Rams fan, I will say when I'm scared, I am scared about this matchup personally, and me thinking about the Rams injuries, that even kind of scares me even more because I know what the Cardinals can provide. I know what we saw from them offensively last week. I think they can do a lot better than what they did. Even against the Bills, if the Cardinals can throw 28 points against the Bills, they can throw up maybe as much with the banged up Rams team. But take a look at the Rams. Matthew Stafford played this hell out. I'm expecting Matthew Stafford to have a good game. Here's the thing. I'm expecting Arizona to run the ball all over the Rams, right? I'm expecting the Rams to throw all over the Cardinals because the Cardinals' pass defense was terrible. Let's be honest. That just is what it is. The Cardinals' defense was bad last week. So I'm expecting the Rams to throw the ball. I'm expecting the Cardinals to run the ball because Cardinals, they have a lot of runners. The Rams defense, they gotta worry about Kyler Murray, James Conner. They gotta worry about them too. And Marvin Harrison Jr. I do think he bounced back here at home. I think he has a great game as well. Now for the Rams, like I said, I'm kind of expecting them to throw the football. Even with Puka out, we saw last week they can compete. They can compete really well. They can find ways to still win games. Even though they didn't win last week, they were in the battle of it. Their defense was just exhausted here at the end. I do think the Rams defense does have a pretty good night here. Not reflecting on the scoreboard because I did have the game, and that was my 1 point game of the week, ladies and gentlemen. This was my 1 point game of the week. 1 point game of the week award. I think this one is pretty safe. If you just look through the schedule and find out who your 1 point game of the week is, I think it's this one. I think this one's gonna be very tight, very competitive. But I will take my boys in this one, 28-27. Going to be a good game. I'm expecting more offenses to show. Like I said, I'm expecting the Cardinals to run. I'm expecting the Rams to pass a little bit more. I'm expecting Matt to have his ritual performance. I'm expecting Cooper Kupp to do exactly what he did last week, and I'm expecting Demarcus Robinson from the Rams. I'm expecting their other receivers to really get going now since Puka is out, and that's kind of what we saw against Detroit. But gotta go with the Rams here by 1 point, 28-27. It should be an excellent game here. But at the end of the day, I gotta go with my boys. I didn't pick them last week. I have to pick them this week. Alright, next up we got the Steelers and the Broncos. I don't know what to really expect from this game. You can look at it either one or two ways. You can expect this like a highly offensive game, or you can take a look at this as a highly defensive game. I think this is going to be more of a defensive game. Steelers defense was ridiculous last week. They were just all over Atlanta. Atlanta couldn't do a damn thing against that defense. Steelers, like I said, they're coming off of a good defensive win against the Steelers, a good showing. Broncos coming off a competitive loss against the Seahawks. This is in Denver, which I do think that kind of scares me a little bit, but look at this name in general. I'm not expecting anything from Bo Nix in this game, especially for the Denver offenses in general, because they're going to get their asses kicked by the Steelers defense. I mean, let's be honest. If you watch that Steelers game, and if you watch the way how they performed on defensive end, how in the hell can you pick Denver going up against that defense? The Steelers was a menace. I didn't pick them last week. Steelers, I would like to tell you right now, I do apologize in advance that I did not pick you guys last week, and you guys definitely deserve me to pick on you guys. Take the Steelers and win this one. Only 17-14 though. Like I said, the Steelers played their asses off on defense, but one thing that we did not see was an offensive touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers last week. That's a little bit concerning. Now, this is Russell Wilson's revenge game, as you would say, because he's playing against a former team, but Justin Fields is starting, so kind of not. So I'm kind of expecting the Steelers to be a little bit motivated in that. I'm expecting to see a little bit more here of their offense in general, like with George Pickens. I'm expecting him to see a little bit more. I'm expecting to see Justin Fields throw the ball a little bit more in this one. Now he gets the Broncos. I think he throws the ball here a little bit more. I think this one's going to be close. It should be a competitive game. And they kind of have a defensive war here with the Steelers barely edging out the Broncos, but this one should be a difficult one. If this one's difficult to choose, by the end of the day, I trust the Steelers a lot, especially after what I saw last week. And TJ Watt was, and a shout out to TJ Watt. I think he deserved to be the superstar of the week category from last week. But yeah, I gotta go with the Steelers this one. Their defense is menaces. I'm not really expecting Broncos offense to really show up that much against that defense. So for that reason, gotta go with the Steelers there, and with the 3 points as well. Alright, next we got the Bengals and the Chiefs. This one can go either way. Like I said, Bengals coming off that embarrassment performance against the Patriots. Chiefs coming off of a... How do I put this? I'm going to put this as a decent, pretty good performance overall by the Kansas City Chiefs in that last game against Thursday Night Football to open it up against Baltimore. This one's in Kansas City. Now, if I'm being honest, what I'm expecting from the Bengals in this game, I'm expecting them to fight. I'm expecting them to fight, give all they got. They're gonna push through it. They're gonna get it together. I am expecting the Bengals offense to show up in this game, knowing that they're playing against one of the top team in the AFC, in the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. Expecting them to go off here, but they're not gonna do enough. Even though I'm expecting Joe Burrow to have a better game, I'm expecting Joe Mixon to have a better game. I'm expecting Jamar Chase to have a better game. But at the end of the day, Bengals are just not going to do enough here. They're not going to do it enough for me. Chiefs, they looked too good last week. Xavier Worthy looked good. All the rookies look good too. Like Xavier Worthy looked good. Rasheed Rice continues to do what he does. I like him a lot as a receiver. You got Patrick Mahomes still, and hopefully Taylor Swift doesn't. Hopefully Taylor Swift doesn't come at the game, because Taylor Swift doesn't really need to be at the games. But at the end of the day, I'm going with the Chiefs here, 31-23. I just don't think the Bengals have enough. Even though I kind of am expecting them to play a little bit hard, a little bit more competitive, a little bit with a little bit more force. But at the end of the day, I just can't. I can't pick the Bengals after what I saw last week. I got to go with the Chiefs to win this, and I got to take the Chiefs with the points as well. Like I said, sorry, Cincy, but there's just no way for me to take you at that last performance. Got to go with the Chiefs winning this game. But I am expecting the Bengals to do that, and I'm not really expecting anything from the Bengals defense either, because the Bengals defense, they got their shit kicked in against the Patriots. So I'm sad. That's why I'm not expecting that as well. My Chiefs defense looked pretty solid last week, so got to go with the Chiefs. All right, and we are on Sunday Night Football now. We got the Bears, we got the Texans. Should be a hard battling game here. I'm kind of expecting this one to go either way. Bears coming off that dramatic win against the Titans. Texans coming off that also dramatic win against the Colts. This game is in Houston. I do think with this game being in Houston is really going to have a with this game being in Houston, I do think that is a huge game changer. Bears could change it. Bears could play well in this one. I mean, I'm kind of expecting a little bit more out of their offense, especially with Caleb Williams. I'm expecting him to play a little bit more. DJ Moore, I know I'm expecting a lot out of him, knowing he's playing against the firehouse power of a team at home in Texas. The Bears offense is going to have to show up with this game if they want a chance. I do think they will get it done. Texans, I'm kind of just expecting to play the same way. I think I don't really have to mention the players. I think we all know we're going to get out the Texans. But in this game, I'm taking the Texans to win this one 34-20. I don't think the Bears defense shows up the way that they did last week. And shout out to the Bears defense for last week. They play their asses off. But I don't think they do as well as this one. I think the Colts will light up the scoreboard once again this week. Especially I like what I saw from Stephon Diggs with his debut as a Texan. I liked his performance, and I think that just adds to the Texans' depth here for me to keep them here at home away from the Bears in this one. But yeah, I gotta go with the Texans here. Take the Texans -7. I think that one is pretty safe. Gotta go with the Texans. I just think they have more firepower than the Bears, but I'm not expecting the Bears to play a good amount of defense of what we saw last week. So for that reason, gotta go with the Texans. Alright, in our last game here, we have Atlanta at Philadelphia. Atlanta coming off that disappointing performance at home against the Steelers. Eagles coming off of a shootout win against Green Bay. Atlanta, I mean, there's just been a history of Kirk Cousins playing on primetime in the stadium, in Lincoln Memorial Field. It just hasn't been turned out. It hasn't been turned out well just yet at all. The Eagles, their offense is ridiculous, man. Like, love what I saw of Saquon, love what I saw of A.J. Brown, love what I saw from Smith. Offense looked good. The only thing I'm only concerned about is Jalen Hurts, just a little bit. Not too much, but just a little bit about him. But besides that, I think it will be good as well. Eagles defense, I am a little bit concerned about that as well right now for the early going, but the Falcons, they just really disappointed me last week. Drake London didn't even get going. Like, Kyle Pitts only scored the only touchdown for Atlanta. Like, what the hell are you doing? You're supposed to have the offense to hang around with these good teams, right? But at the end of the day, guys, I'm taking the Eagles here, kind of a blowout. We're going to go 30-17. Definitely. Oh, I forgot to change the spread pick. That was Eagles -7. The Eagles will cover the spread. Whatever the spread is, the Eagles will take it. I forgot to update that before I started recording, so I do apologize about that. But at the end of the day, I am going with the Eagles. I am taking it with the spread, and I'm taking them 30-17. Like I said, I'm kind of expecting Atlanta to fight a little bit more in this one, but it's not going to be enough. The Eagles are just too high-powered offensively. Defensively, they're going to be all over. Kirk Cousins does not perform good against the Eagles on on this field. So there you have it. Should be a close game. Should be a closing game. Atlanta's going to start off 0-2, and the Eagles are going to start off 2-0. Alright guys, and that's going to do it for today's analytics video. Like I said, if you got time today, make sure you guys do like and subscribe. Make sure you join the Discord. Make sure you guys go join the NBA Pick'em Challenge. And guys, I got to go ahead out of here because I currently recorded this is 10:51 right now as I'm recording this. So I quickly have to get off, get ready, and then get ready for school the next day. Meanwhile, enjoy Thursday Night Football. I'm going to go ahead and hop out of here real quick. And see you guys next time. Peace out. Stay safe. See you on the next one. Peace out.